Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most shocking and heart-wrenching stories to come out of Little People, Big World. If you thought you'd seen drama on this show before, think again, because what's happening with Chris Marek and Amy Roloff right now is next level. Secrets, betrayal, and a love story turned upside down. This is the kind of saga that has fans glued to their screens. And trust me, you're going to want to hear every detail. Chris' ex-wife has recently reconnected with him. You heard right, Chris Marek had an ex-wife. Some people even claim to have seen them together at the same restaurant. Chris Marek wants to divorce his current wife, Amy Roloff, and remarry his ex-wife. Previously, no one knew that Chris Marek had an ex-wife. The fact that Chris had an ex-wife was hidden from all the fans. Chris Marek cheated to Amy Roloff. Eventually, as a result of this incident, Amy Roloff throws Chris Marek out of the house and decides to sell their home for $1.1 million. Amy Roloff expresses a lot of sadness. I will explain everything. Let's start from the beginning. Amy Roloff, the beloved matriarch of Little People, Big World, has been through more than most people could handle. Chris Marek entered Amy Roloff's life when she needed it most. Fresh off her divorce from Matt, navigating co-parenting, and finding her independence, Chris offered stability, affection, and a quiet strength. Their courtship, while not always center stage on LPBW, was documented enough for fans to invest in their happiness. Their 2021 wedding was a televised celebration, a culmination of their journey together. Chris became Amy's Chris, a fixture at Roloff Farms events, often seen supporting her through business ventures and family milestones. Honestly, Chris seemed like a dream come true for Amy. He wasn't seeking the spotlight like Matt. He was just there for her. Fans loved that. We saw him as her safe harbor. But beneath the surface of this seemingly perfect partnership, there was a secret Chris Marek had meticulously kept hidden, not just from the public, but allegedly, according to our sources close to the situation, from Amy Roloff herself for a significant portion of their relationship. The bombshell? Christopher Marek was married before. Long before Amy Roloff entered his life. This wasn't a fleeting youthful romance, sources tell us, but a significant, years-long marriage that ended in divorce. The identity of this ex-wife remained shielded. She is described as a private individual who wanted nothing to do with the Roloff spotlight. Why was this hidden? Chris was very intentional about leaving that part of his life behind. He moved states, built a new career, and when he met Amy and the Roloff circus, he knew that past wouldn't fit the narrative. He feared it would complicate things, maybe scare Amy off initially. By the time they were serious, revealing it felt like admitting a huge deception. So he didn't. He buried it. Imagine that. Amy, who has lived so much of her life publicly, pouring her heart out on camera about her struggles and joys, believing she knew the man she married, only to discover a fundamental piece of his history was deliberately omitted. This wasn't just a forgotten fling. This was a marriage. The foundation of trust, already tested by the complexities of blending lives on a reality show, was built, in part, on quicksand. For years, the secret remained dormant. Chris' ex-wife lived her life privately, seemingly content to remain in the past. Chris built his life with Amy. But recently, according to multiple independent sources we've spoken to, something shifted. The ex-wife reached out. The reason? Sources speculate it could be anything from unresolved personal matters, a health scare prompting reflection, or simply the passage of time softening old wounds. I wouldn't have thought twice if I hadn't seen the headlines later. About 3 weeks ago, I was having dinner at upscale restaurant name Redacted in Portland. I saw Chris Marek. Definitely him. He was sitting across from a woman. They weren't overly affectionate, but they were leaning in close, talking very intensely. He reached across and touched her hand at one point. It looked intimate, serious. I remember thinking, "Pa, that doesn't look like Amy." Then, when the news broke about the ex-wife, it clicked. This wasn't an isolated sighting. We've corroborated reports from several individuals in the Portland area over the past 2 months, placing Chris Merrick with the same woman described consistently as being in her late 50s, early 60s. Average height, brown hair, stylish but understated at various locations, that restaurant, a coffee shop downtown, even walking near the waterfront. Always deep in conversation, always appearing focused solely on each other. This is where it gets messy. If Chris is secretly meeting his ex-wife he never told anyone about, repeatedly, looking that intense, what is Amy supposed to think? Even if it starts innocently, catching up, closure. The secrecy itself is a massive betrayal. And let's be real, emotions between exes, especially ones with a shared past like marriage, can be incredibly complex and volatile. Sources close to Amy confirm the rumors of these meetings reached her, not through Chris, but through the grapevine friends, perhaps even fans recognizing him. Imagine the shock. The husband you trusted implicitly, meeting in secret with a woman whose very existence he had denied. The questions would be overwhelming. How long has this been going on? Why now? What are they talking about? Is it emotional? Is it more? Confrontation was inevitable. Amy Roloff, despite her cheerful public persona, is known for her strength and directness when crossed. Sources describe a scene of devastating heartbreak and volcanic anger within the walls of the home they shared. Amy confronted him. She'd heard the rumors. She'd seen things, maybe messages, maybe bank statements showing dinners she wasn't at. She demanded the truth. Finally, Chris admitted it. Yes, he was married before. Yes, that was his ex-wife. Yes, they've been meeting. And then the unthinkable. Chris allegedly confessed that he still had feelings for his ex. That reconnecting had made him realize he wanted her. He wanted a divorce from Amy. He wanted to go back to his first wife. Let that sink in. Not just an emotional affair, not just a hidden past, but Chris Merrick, Amy's husband, reportedly looking her in the eye and saying he wanted to end their marriage to remarry the woman he had erased from his own history. The ultimate rejection, the ultimate betrayal. This wasn't a midlife crisis fling. This was a conscious choice to abandon the life he built with Amy for a past he had deliberately locked away. The fallout, according to our sources, was immediate and brutal. Amy, heartbroken but fiercely protective of her own dignity, did not hesitate. She told Chris to leave. Immediately, that night. Sources describe Chris being physically ejected from the home, not necessarily violently, but with absolute, unwavering finality. He packed a bag under Amy's furious, tear-filled gaze and walked out of the life they had built together. It was catastrophic. Amy is shattered. Beyond shattered. The betrayal is multi-layered: the lies about his past, the secret meetings, the declaration that he wanted his ex-wife over her. It's a level of humiliation and pain that's hard to comprehend. She feels like their entire marriage was built on a lie. She feels discarded for a ghost. With Chris gone, the house they shared became not a home, but a mausoleum of broken promises. Every room, every piece of furniture, held a memory now poisoned by betrayal. Amy Roloff, a woman known for her deep connection to home and family, made a decisive, heartbreaking move. She listed the property for sale. $1.1 million. This isn't just a real estate transaction. It's a symbolic act of scorched earth. Selling this house is Amy's way of erasing the physical space of her deepest betrayal. She cannot, and will not, live within those walls any longer. The price tag reflects the home's value, but the act of selling screams of her need to purge this pain. The price is aggressive for the current market in that specific area, but not outrageous for a custom property with Roloff name recognition. It signals she wants a quick, clean break. She's motivated. This isn't about maximizing profit. It's about closing a chapter as fast as possible. Sources close to Amy paint a picture of profound sadness. She's described as cycling between intense anger and overwhelming grief. She feels humiliated not just personally, but publicly, knowing this scandal will play out in the media, knowing fans who rooted for her will now learn how thoroughly she was deceived. The woman who found joy in pumpkin season, in her grandkids, in her little kitchen business, is now shrouded in sorrow. My heart just breaks for her. To find love again after Matt, to trust so completely, to have that wedding televised only to have it end like this. With him wanting to go back to a wife no one knew existed. It's cruel. Selling the house makes perfect sense. How could she stay there? Chris Marek has vanished from public view since the split. No statements, no social media posts, no sightings with his ex-wife since the confrontation. His silence is deafening. What is he doing? Is he reconciling with his ex-wife, as he allegedly told Amy he wanted to? Or is he grappling with the nuclear fallout of his actions? The ex-wife remains an enigma. Our attempts to reach her or confirm her perspective have been unsuccessful. She valued her privacy before. She certainly values it now amidst this scandal. Key questions linger. Did she know Chris was married to Amy when she reconnected? Did she encourage his feelings? Was she seeking reconciliation or just closure? Her motivations are a crucial, missing piece of this painful puzzle. This situation is incredibly complex. Chris potentially carries deep baggage from his first marriage that was never resolved. Reconnecting could have triggered a powerful what-if fantasy, idealizing the past while minimizing its problems and the reality of his current life. The secrecy suggests he knew his actions were indefensible. The pain he's inflicted on Amy is profound, involving multiple levels of deceit and rejection. The ex-wife, if unaware of his duplicity, could also be a victim here. If she was aware, that adds another layer of calculated cruelty. The shockwaves extend far beyond Amy and Chris. Lil People, Big World is now facing a massive off-camera crisis that will inevitably impact the show. How can filming continue with this level of personal devastation at its core? Can Amy face the cameras while processing this? Will Chris ever appear again? TLC faces a dilemma. This is raw, real-life drama far exceeding the show's usual conflicts. Do they film it, exploiting Amy's pain for ratings? Or do they pause, respecting her privacy during this traumatic time? Either choice is fraught. Fans are deeply invested. They'll demand answers, but filming this could re-traumatize Amy. The show can't ignore this. But filming Amy's raw grief? That feels exploitative. Maybe they address it next season with Amy's control over the narrative. Chris is done though. Fans will never accept him back after this. He's burned that bridge completely. The Roloff children, Zach, Jeremy, Molly, and Jacob, are caught in the crossfire. Sources say they are fiercely protective of their mother and furious with Chris. This betrayal cuts deep, not just against Amy, but against the entire family who welcomed Chris in. It creates another painful fracture in a family already navigating complex dynamics post-Matt and Amy's divorce. The kids are rallying around Amy. They're devastated for her and angry beyond words at Chris. This isn't just mom's husband cheating. This is a fundamental betrayal of their trust too. They feel he played them all. Don't expect any Roloff kid to have a relationship with Chris moving forward. Amidst the wreckage, Amy Roloff's inherent strength is her beacon. Selling the house is her first, powerful act of reclaiming control. While drowning in sadness now, those who know her best believe she will rebuild. She has her family, her faith, her business ventures, and a legion of supportive fans. This chapter is ending in the most brutal way, but it is not the end of Amy Roloff's story. However, crucial questions remain unanswered, casting long shadows. 1. The full truth. Did Chris Marek's relationship with his ex-wife cross into physical infidelity before the confrontation? Amy believes the emotional betrayal and intent are enough, but the question lingers. 2. The ex-wife's role. What did she know? What does she want? Her silence speaks volumes, but what is it saying? 3. Chris's next move. Will he publicly address this? Will he attempt reconciliation with his ex-wife? Where does he go from here? 4. Legal battles. Beyond the house sale, are there contentious divorce proceedings ahead? Financial settlements? The $1.1 million is just the start. 5. LPBW's fate. How will TLC handle the seismic shift? Can the show survive without Amy's central love story, or will it pivot entirely? The idyllic image of Amy Roloff and Chris Merrick, happy in their home on the fringes of Roloff Farms, is gone. Shattered by the revelation of a hidden wife, secret meetings, and the ultimate rejection, Amy has been forced to confront a betrayal of unimaginable depth. Selling the $1.1 million house isn't just a financial decision. It's an act of survival, a necessary purge of the space where her trust was annihilated. Her sadness is profound, a wound that will take immense time and strength to heal. Chris Merrick's silence leaves a void filled only with speculation and anger. His actions have not only destroyed his marriage, but potentially his relationship with the entire Roloff family and his standing with the fans who once cheered for him. The ex-wife remains a ghost haunting this wreckage. Roloff Farms has weathered many storms, family conflicts, business struggles, the very public divorce of Matt and Amy. But this feels different. This isn't just a conflict. It's a deep, personal scar inflicted not by the challenges of the farm, but by a profound betrayal within what was supposed to be a safe harbor. Amy Roloff will rebuild her life, of that we have no doubt. She is resilient, but the story of Amy and Chris is over, ending not with a whimper, but with the devastating echo of a door slamming shut on a $1.1 million dream, and the heartbreaking sound of Amy's tears falling in a house that is no longer a home. The farm endures, but tonight, it bears a new and painful scar. What's next? Divorce papers rumored soon. Chris with Beth? Sightings continue. Amy? Focusing on family business. LPBW future? Season 26 might capture this. Raw, real. More update. Amy Roloff shares cryptic post about changes. Amy Roloff revolts, refuses to let Matt put her farmhouse on rent. A new war broke out between them over the farm rent. In recent social media posts, Amy Roloff, a familiar face from the reality show Little People, Big World, has captured the attention of her admirers. Others speculate that her message portends significant changes to the Roloff family and the show itself. The TLC community is speculating that Zach Roloff and his wife, Tori Roloff, may not return for Little People, Big World, Season 25. Amy Roloff's mysterious post has only increased speculation. In her article, Amy featured an image of a leaf on the ground that was changing color. The picture's accompanying caption read, "Change is coming. It is inevitable, but that is okay. If it is ready or not, it is almost here. Drop." Some of her supporters are interpreting this as a sign that the cast may be changing. Karen Chandler's son, Connor Chandler, allegedly revealed Tori and Zach's departure, adding gasoline to the flames. They have said they are reluctant to come back for another season and seem to want to focus on their own projects, he said. Connor reportedly stated that Karen has been busy filming for an upcoming season. According to The Sun, this might be the family's last season. Despite the fact that Zach and Tori's departure raises questions about the program's future, it is uncertain if Little People, Big World, will continue once they depart. Amy Roloff had earlier said in July that they had completed filming. However, it is unclear when or if the season will debut. Connor also brought up the strained relationship between Zach and Matt Roloff, which began when they could not agree on Matt's decision to sell a piece of the family farm. Only a few times do Zach and his family visit Matt at the farm, according to Connor, who says they only go maybe twice a year. Zach has found this disconnect and is currently living alone with his family. Amy Roloff has been candid about family disputes. "I was upset by the animosity in the family, particularly among my twin sons, Jeremy and Zach Roloff," she stated. Amy says she wants these arguments to stop and admits that she has contributed to some of the current family strife. Amy reflected on her past decisions and regretted selling Matt a portion of the land. She believes that if she had known what would happen, she could have made a different choice. Even though she is aware that nothing can alter the past, she still finds it difficult to make the necessary modifications. In the face of this uncertainty, Amy finds solace in her enduring relationships with her children, even if the family continues to face internal conflict. Amy Roloff's enigmatic post has consequently sparked concerns about the future of Little People, Big World, and Connor Chandler's revelations have only served to heighten the uncertainty. In spite of the impending changes, Amy maintains her optimism for closure and healing within her family, even though the show's future is still up in the air. She said it so well. Change is inevitable. Amy Roloff rebels and will not allow Matt to rent her farmhouse. Over the farm rent, a new conflict erupted between them. Due to the turmoil surrounding Roloff Farms, the Roloff family remains divided on TLC's Little People, Big World Season 24. Since neither Zach nor Jeremy Roloff could afford the asking price, Matt made the decision to put Roloff Farms up for sale. When the farm did not sell, Amy Roloff took to Instagram to voice her disdain of Matt's plan to rent it out. Roloff Farms is for sale, Matt Roloff said on Little People, Big World. Zach and Jeremy Roloff each wanted to purchase a portion of Amy Roloff's side of Roloff Farms. Unfortunately, they could not agree on a price for the property with Matt Roloff. This left the Roloff twins feeling let down and bitter toward Matt. By offering to sell 16 acres of Roloff Farms to the general public, Matt exacerbated the situation. He was asking for $4 million. The farm has been up for sale for a few days, Matt says. Little People, Big World said this. It is exhilarating and frightening all at once as we approach the end of another chapter at the Roloff farm. Matt made a suggestion that the high asking price of the house was the reason his realtor was not anticipating its selling. Matt continued, I get a lot of attention and updates every day. In the end, Matt Roloff's plan, which he showcased on Little People, Big World, was unsuccessful in selling Roloff Farms. After removing it from the market, Matt devised a new plan. In order to rent Amy's old farmhouse, he partnered with a real estate company. Matt posted on Instagram, I have decided to take the little farm out of the public market and work with Itcher Vacations to make the Roloff Farms available to anyone who wants to spend a few nights at the Roloff family home. Demand and the time of year will affect prices. More information will be available soon. However, it should go without saying, we are working incredibly hard behind the scenes to decorate and restore the house so that it is ready for its first guests, in addition to running the busy pumpkin farm. Amy Roloff talked about how she felt about the rental on Instagram Live. She considered how she kind of wished she had given Matt her part of the land rather than purchasing his. Now that Matt owns it, we all know it is available for short-term rentals, she said. I really dislike that. There is a part of me that wishes I had bought him out of the farmhouse. That chance, that risk. Amy Roloff reports that visitors have already started to remain at the home. Matt Roloff swiftly rents out Amy Roloff's old home on Roloff Farms. She talked about it on Instagram Live with her friend Lisa. The Little People, Big World star went on to say, a few people have already lived in the house. That is fascinating. Lisa said with a grimace, that is bizarre. That was your master bedroom, and you resided there. Oh no? I believe it is just that personal to me, which makes it difficult, Amy stated. I spent almost 30 years living in that house. It is kind of like the house I grew up in. This is a little out of the ordinary because it is a short-term rental. There is nothing living there. Chris visits Matt on the farm to get an update about the sale and find out how the pumpkin season is going. Amy Roloff is yet to decide whether or not she will take part. After a portion of the land was listed for sale, her feelings have changed. Chris saw that the property was devoid of any pending signs. None of the people who showed interest in the property, according to Matt, seemed like the right fit. Fans might be curious as to why Chris wants to sell. It is an easy response. Chris is interested in the status of the sale because he works in the real estate industry. Regarding Matt, he has no problem with Chris asking questions. Chris only seems to genuinely want to assist, in his opinion. In response to a question about whether he was prepared to reduce the price, Matt stated that he wanted to wait and see how the cycle developed. Matt and his people are currently in the midst of making preparations for the upcoming pumpkin season. In light of the current state of the economy, Matt believes that this year will be softer. In response to a question regarding whether he would be performing tours, Matt stated that he was still considering it. The same route will still be taken, but he intends to reduce the number of tours in order to simplify the event. Chris then inquired as to whether he would like Emmy to join in on the pumpkin season and greet the guests. Yes, he replied, adding that he also wanted Chris to assist with the excursions. Matt is particularly interested in Amy's assistance, but he also wants Chris. If Matt goes forward with his intentions to cut the tours in half, Chris does not think he would need his assistance. However, Chris and other family members should lead the trips, according to Matt. Fans are aware of Matt's inability to sell a portion of the Roloff farms. Therefore, he made the decision to rent it instead. Amy said she did not like the notion in an Instagram Live. "We all know it is available for short-term rental. Matt now owns it," Amy stated. "That does not appeal to me. I kind of wish I had taken that gamble, that risk, and purchased him out of the farmhouse property," she continued. No more today. What are you thinking about this gossip today? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned by subscribing to our channel to get more updates like this. Thank you.